So,
So
what
how
can I
many
help you with, Jigs?
how many of these models do you have that are like rigged and can do the whole ghost thing, or is this the only one?
Oh, sorry, 1 second. Second. There we go. Pot!
That's crazy how you can see it change in real time.
Yeah, it's just a thing with All right, give me a second. I'm having some technical difficulties.
There you go.
I never said I was intelligent.
I was about to say
said
it
I
wouldn't
said
be
I
a
was-
stream if it wasn't scuffed, brother.
So, technically, this ghost is actually an add-on that you can put on any model.
Oh, sick.
Once it's an item you can add to your VTube Studio scene. The one I have is the free version, but the other one's like 500 yen. And it has like, it will activate whenever you hit the tab button. So if you hook up you hook up the expressions correctly and hook it to tab, it will like, it'll have like your face frozen like this when it's time for the ghost to come out. And the ghost, if you load it right, will lip sync to your character anyways.
Oh, that's so cool. You should at some point you should send the link over for that.
Let go.
Yeah, send the link over for that. I have some idea. Well, not for this model. I still need to get the V2 of this model rigged, and I haven't done that yet. Like every time I think about it, I have like 4 or 5 bots pop in my DMs, and they're just like, "I can do it for you." And I'm like, "Oh, Jesus Christ, brother."
They're probably not going to do it for you. They're just going to take your money.
Yeah, I need to find someone reliable.
Oi.
Don't we all, brother?
Yeah.
We all. Anyways, let's get this back to normal. Hi.
Right. So, it's midnight. Hey, what's going on?
Let's go. Hey, Midnight. Hey, Midnight.
I was about to say, so you call him midnight too, right? Because I was thinking, do I call him midnight? Do I call him mid? Do I call him K? Because I feel like if I called him mid, that'd be kind of rude.
I called her K. I don't
Okay.
think she. Everyone calls her Midnight because that's what she's mostly. I like to call her Bakugo Fucker 557 because she's made 500 Bakugo bots for roleplay.
Should I be concerned or?
Everybody has their kinks, man.
I mean, I didn't say anything. It's just like you just said it and then went silent. I was just like, yeah, she has a problem. This is an intervention. I'm like, okay, is it really? I hope not. I wasn't prepared for this.
We don't judge, okay? We don't judge.
I don't know about you. You like it. You better than me. I do. But this isn't weird. Say if you had been like, yeah, no, just in the sweaty armpits, I'd have been like, you might want to talk about that just a bit.
I don't know if she's into feet or not. That's still yet to be determined.
I don't know. I like how feet somehow became normalized. Remember back in the day when it wasn't? Now everyone's just okay with it.
It's still it's normalized now.
Have you not seen Twitter? Bro, they're loud and proud, bro. They have their own flag.
You frickin'. Sometimes I lose faith in humanity.
I was about to say, did you not know? Did you not know?
I did not. I did not know.
Okay, cool. Now you have to. Better than anything. I never said it was normal. Yeah, fair enough. So with
Anyways, yeah. So as I was saying, originally I had 2 other models that I could swap between, but I've decided for now I'm focusing on my one character because of the other gimmick that she has, aside from the ghost, is that she's actually 3 characters in one.
Oh wow! And so
Originally, yeah.
No,
I don't
go
know.
on.
Is that a question you originally wanted to ask me? But more, why I have 3 characters on my reference sheet instead of 1?
well, yeah, that, and then also how do they all tie in together? And is this like a lore thing that you're doing? Are they all?
It is a
moved?
lore.
Okay.
Erise, Jackie, and Spanner were characters originally meant for a web novel I wanted to make when I was a teenager. This was something I made like when I was very young. I'm not that old. It's been like 10 years or so. A little more than that. Oh, new follow. Like, congratulations.
Thanks. I didn't even get a chance to see the name. Oh, Renazar. Oh, Runazar. I'm terrible at names. I'm not even. I'm just gonna call you
Dude,
Ken. I feel
I
like
will
you're
not-
Ken enough. Ken enough. Zoken. We're gonna go with
Listen,
that.
I can't pronounce pronunciation and pronunciation correct in the same sentence, all right? I don't think we need to worry about that.
I just don't want them to be mad at me because I can't say their name right. I also have a problem saying
You
statistics
you could
sometimes.
breathe in the wrong direction, someone's gonna get mad, dude.
That is very true. That is very true.
You could literally go on Twitter and post a white and black square, and someone's gonna get mad and claim it's racist.
Why has it got to be black? Why is the black square smaller? Excuse me?
I'm surprised chess hasn't been canceled yet because the black piece is the one that moves second.
True. Yeah, actually, they tried to do that. You know that, right?
I did not, but I don't care enough to learn.
Yeah, that was a couple years ago. I thought it was funny because 4chan was like, "Well, we got them to think that milk was racist, so why not chess?" It was like there was a whole discussion. That was hilarious.
And there was like the whole Lego thing with like the male and female connectors being sexist or transphobic or something.
Oh my god, it was so stupid.
It's like, okay, I mean, like, all right, but I'm gonna get back to the lore because I don't want to talk too much about my opinions.
I mean, you could. Like, it's like anyone here is gonna say anything, but go on.
But like, what I want to say is that there is a lore thing going on, and the world that they came from is actually a sci-fi superhero world. And that basically Arise is one of the top superheroines. She's the main heroine of the story specifically. And she has greater ties to the machinations at work because this is actually not just a superhero sci-fi story, it's a time travel story.
Oh, okay.
And essentially, all right. All right, what is this? My name is just Dinosaur, but you replaced Dino with Rune. Besides, my dad was military, so as long as I know you're talking to me, it doesn't matter. Oh, so you're Runisar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool name.
That is a pretty cool name.
Not bad. I tip my hat to you, but I don't have a hat.
It's weird. I can picture a dinosaur that has a bunch of runes on it now.
Like one of the fantasy species I made up as a kid was called the Onyx Liger, which was like a liger, but its body is made of onyxes and it can reflect light. But so it likes to live in like, even though it's jet black, it likes to live in sunny places because it just absorbs so much solar energy. It just makes itself almost invincible.
Sick. And
yeah, I love making all these kinds of crazy stories. But anyways, yeah, essentially the idea behind the story was that Arise and the other characters have to go back in time because essentially the strange supernatural power source and source of the power is called dead zone energy has basically caused the entire space-time continuum to rip itself apart. So they have to go back into the past to hi Mags. They have to go back into the past to kind of undo it and stop like the evil corrupt superheroes from like taking over the world, and there's like all kinds of crazy shenanigans that happens because of it. It's one of the stories I eventually want to make as a creative, but I'm not currently skilled enough or have the resources necessary to make something as grandiose as I would want it to be. So it would basically be a part of my magnum opus.
Okay. So you said that you weren't skilled enough. How long do you think it would be till you become skilled enough to do something like that? Because that sounds like a really ambitious project.
Exactly. So I'm at the beginning of my career now. I may be in my late 20s, but this is I haven't really taken publicly to my creativity until now.
Oh.
Until recently.
Okay. I'm excited for that. So what got you into, I guess, the VTubing and all of this?
I've always liked the idea of streaming and VTubing. It just seemed fun to be an anime character.
And is this your first one?
I did stream a long time ago, but I wasn't very successful. Barely got a single viewer, and eventually I just depressed myself out of it. Well, then again, I had a lot worse mental health back then, and I didn't really like the way the accountant's direction was heading either, so I just wiped it off the map.
You know, that's fair. Anime life is better than real life most of the time. That is very true. Sorry, that is very true.
The main reason I returned is because I found a new opportunity to use streaming. You see, one of the issues with game development and just media and development in general is unless you make it big, you're not going to make consistent income unless you're constantly pumping out stuff.
Very true.
So what I wanted to do is do something a little bit unique, and I wanted to make it so that my characters, that I can basically be my own mascot for my own company. Yes, I am not kidding. When you see in my Twitter bio, Arkd3v Studios LLC, that is a real company that I opened. I am the CEO of my own company.
Nice. So I bet the process for that was it kind of depends on where you are. But
I'm going to be honest.
Was annoying.
Being in New York is a piece of shit.
Oh,
thankfully,
you're in New York?
I am not, thankfully, not in New York City. I will not be disclosing the area of New York where I live for the sake of doxing. But I will say that opening a company in New York is the worst out of every state because they apparently have a literally archaic law when it comes to company. You have to pay a publishing company to publish that you exist or you do not legally exist. And apparently, this can cost you almost up to $1,000.
Oh yeah, it sounds about right. Nothing can ever be easy. I actually now that I was that's so much better than what I had to do.
Let's go back with paper. Let's go. Paper, I believe, is also a game developer, and I have been trying to work with him to get his characters to finally work. He has a really cool game. You should definitely check out his Twitter profile for his Google Drive. He's making this crazy AI game where like there's 60 different waifus, and like they're all like gonna make AI stuff based off the adventures and stuff you have together. It's insane. You should definitely check out his lore.
All right. Well, speaking of games, as you said, you were a game developer, right? Let's unpack a little what you got going on. Also, that's pretty sick that he's also here. You guys should 100% link after this.
Because that's your name on Discord, stupid.
Styles going. Thanks for the follow.
I never even got into finishing Ares' lore, but eventually I'll do a lore video or something on it. It's absolutely insane, but I've sprinkled stuff regarding it. But as for my game, originally, a bit of a story behind that. Before that, I was in a master's in game development. I was coming out my first year, and I was having a horrendous time. Let's just say this. University right now is IRL Twitter.
I figured.
They are some of the biggest, wokest snowflakes I have ever seen. And I'm not going to disclose anything because I don't want to bring down the stream because I don't want to vent. But this was one of the... I basically got my own team stabbed me in the back because they mistook anime tropes as something actually serious.
Oh no. Oh my god.
And instead of consulting me, they kicked me off the my own project.
Huh.
Oi.
So,
and not only that, okay, you know what? Let me add, you want to add insult to injury? Insult to injury?
Yeah, let's hear it.
That same time I was coming home from that, my beloved golden doodle passed away.
Wow. It couldn't get any worse, huh?
It could not get any worse. Ironically, the teacher who was assigned to oversee it was helping me much. It wasn't her fault. It seemed to be something like an issue of like the students and the program head, because she was trying to do her best to help me out. And ironically, she's the one who encouraged me and helped me along to make another game that I never released yet, because it's tied to my master's project, which I haven't completed yet. And that's on my future. It's something I put on the back burner for the moment. But it's a game basically about my dog. And basically you play as my dog going to a troubled family, and it's basically like you're with the dog and you have to like make the family better, and it's basically dog simulator. The twist is that thanks, Rune. The twist is that as the game progresses, the dog gets older and will eventually die.
Oh, that's kind of sad. But I mean, it's understandable, huh?
Well, the message of the story is really, it's more about, the message of that story is ironically about what would you rather? And you don't have to answer this. What would you rather? Would you rather live a long life or die knowing you fulfilled a purpose?
Okay.
But let's get away from that. Let's talk about anime games for a second.
Like the gacha ones, or the ones that...
No, the one I worked on.
Okay.
So, going back to my story, that fall I entered Spooktober Game Jam. Do you know what a game jam is?
No.
So game jams are things where basically a bunch of people get together randomly and you make a game in a short amount of time. I just entered it randomly. I was talking with a bunch of people on the Discord, on their Discord, and just talking. I had a good time with the last one, which I did over the summer, so I figured I'd do it again. And here's what happened. That game was just a random Yuri horror game that I did when I wrote half asleep. I co-wrote half asleep, helped with programming, helped with game design direction, and it was just a straight up story. That game, give me a second. I'm going to open up the stats for it now. Let's see, because
he's got the receipts on deck. Let's go.
Can I say I'm very proud of it? All right, open up. Give me a second. Yeah.
Oi, oi, oi.
We'll go back. I'm in the wrong
pride
spot.
Game development makes for the best weird moments. I bet. I would know. I've never designed a game. I would like to. I'm just not that smart.
Let's check this out. I said analytics. This game is almost as many downloads as Namika VT has followers right now. We're at 4,770 downloads. In about 2 years with minimal marketing.
All right then.
It's basically downloading itself and marketing itself. It is still going. And for a free game, it made $107. People willingly donated to that stuff.
Nice.
So I was like, wait a minute. 1 second. Stop it. I have to fix that toggle. Holy smokes. Yeah. So I figured, what if I can make fire strike the same twice? I'll make another Yuri horror game. Let's see if it does well. And that's kind of where we're currently at with Lauralee. My current game that I sent you the Kickstarter for.
Where?
Jigs.
Where did you send it?
Are you paying attention to my story?
Oi, oi, oi.
Yeah, you said you sent. You said you sent.
I was kind of opening the door up to you so you could talk. Are you paying attention?
Yeah, and I was looking for where you sent it. That's why I said, where did you send it?
In your DMs?
That's why I was like, why didn't it open? Okay, well, I'll have to look at that later. I'm very upset at that. It seems like you have multiple things going on. And your order's still in uni, or you graduated? You're still in uni, right?
I graduated a while about a year ago now.
All right, okay, that sounds exciting. So, yeah, obviously you're... Yeah, I don't think anyone really wanted to. Like, I wouldn't want to. Everyone I've ever heard that's gone to college absolutely hates the experience. It is in a mountain of debt. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I have things to do.
It's not only is it a mountain of debt, you're basically paying to work when you really should be getting paid.
Good lord. Paying, not a fan whatsoever. So from here, obviously, you're going into business for yourself. You're not trying to get into, like, an actual studio, right?
Well, I tried and I couldn't.
Whoa.
The game development industry is an absolute dog water right now.
Oi, oi.
Same with software.
Well, actually, no, that's fair.
I went to game development school specifically to pivot from my original shitty undergrad degree to an actual, like, practical degree. Game development could technically be translated to various degrees. My full degree includes interactive media. I could technically work in museums. Unfortunately, the thing going on right now is that the game development industry is shrinking just like the software industry. It's not just AI. They just don't want to hire people who are new or under experienced. They'd rather outsource your roles. So the only way to get in is to compete with senior level devs who there is currently a saturation of. The mathematics are literally against you. What ultimately broke me was I had contacts. I had referrals. But my referrals were getting to were literally getting laid off as I was sending out my applications. And then one of the referrals was a CEO of his own game company, and he literally told me that entry-level and junior-level jobs do not exist. They don't exist anymore.
Jesus.
And I wouldn't be so inclined to agree if it wasn't for that summer, that past summer, my internship was literally outsourced to India.
It's... Well, so what is the idea? What is the plan then? I don't understand. At least with the whole software engineer, game development, all that good stuff. What is the point of even doing that other than for yourself then at this point?
Well, here's the thing: if you want to compete with senior level devs, you have to become a senior level dev. Independent work counts just as much as working in experience.
Oh,
If I make something good, like, dude, the guy who made Toby Fox, do you think that any AAA studio would fight in a Thunderdome for him, considering what he made Undertale?
true.
Exactly.
I wonder if they'd hire the dude that made a Lethal Company.
I mean, if you make an extremely successful indie game, they're gonna want you.
So is that what you were going to do, or are you just gonna get big regardless of that and just not go to a company?
And I have a bit of a flexible plan at the moment. I have a day job.
Okay.
And then when I come home, I would work on my game development and VTubing. Essentially, I would be streaming my game development because I feel like game development has potential for entertainment. I know Pirate. Oh, hi Jess. Hi Jess.
It is Jess.
But I feel like the game development has an underrated potential for entertainment, not just in terms of educational, for like teaching people how to get involved with game development, but also rage content, because you have no idea how freaking annoying it is when you get a bug, an annoying bug, but then Unity says it's a null reference error and doesn't tell you where it is. So you have to check literally every single node to figure out where that bug is. And then you might change your code, you might ruin everything, and when you finally find the bug, it's in a completely different space that you were literally glancing over.
Yeah, that always sounds fun. That reminds me of coding, which is another reason I didn't do that anymore.
Yeah, but so people love it when people get mad. And we literally have angry video game nerd.
Yeah, I was about to say people love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like it has great potential. So the idea, just to circle back around your original question, why I chose VTubing, is while it's technically a very unorthodox and it may not necessarily track, it's supposed to. The idea is that I'm essentially monetizing my development process while also trying to maintain the audience that I build from my games. Yes, there are going to be. It's not going to retain every single person, but I was taught. Something I didn't tell you guys yet is that I actually interned for about a year with a former Batman comics editor, and he taught me a lot of things about just entertainment in general. And something he taught me is that if you have 10% of your following always eating your content, that is considered successful.
Interestingly enough, I've heard that metric too once before, but I forgot who I heard it from, and I never got any verification. But now that I've heard you say it, I was like, okay.
Also, you got 14 views right now. Holy crap, you might hit 20 soon.
I was about to say, brother, that was because of you, dude.
I made a lot of friends, and honestly, I think that's one of the big differences, which is why I'm excited to try, because back when I tried streaming before, I made no connections. I didn't use Twitter. I didn't talk to other creators. I never got to know people. Now, I've made mistakes. I definitely have a lot to learn as a person and as a content creator, a game developer. I don't see myself as somebody who is going to be perfect. In fact, I see myself as someone who's going to make a lot more mistakes, but I also see myself as someone who's going to pick up their stuff and not let it get to their head. I think ego is the death of many things, and it's important to keep yourself humble.
Oh my god, I wish more people had that mentality that you did. And as long as you know that you're going to make mistakes and then try to not avoid them, because that's how you make even worse mistakes, and then also people that double down on that stuff. Oh, jeez, it's just such a nightmare. But I'm so glad you're not doing any of that. And I'm so glad that you have the wherewithal to understand that this is a process.
Can I teach you a little metaphor I like to use?
Go on.
That's more of a question. How stable do you think a house built on rotten foundations is?
Oh god, as someone who used to crawl under houses, I understand this. It's not at all.
I mean, that is true. Perfection is also the enemy of progress. Like, you could be perfect, but then somebody could be better than you because perfect also means you cannot improve anymore.
Mm-mm. This reminds me of Warhammer, and I don't want to spaz out on that.
Dude, I tried to get into Warhammer lore several times. Every time I got like a lore video, and it's like 5 minutes in, I'm already overloaded. I can't keep track of the shit.
No. You see, that's the thing. You don't need to. There's this. You need to get in with someone.
I need to understand why everybody is saying Slanesh is their waifu. Isn't that the blood god?
No, that's corn. See, oh man, look. Look,
You're spasming.
yeah, like it's like we're here to talk about you. We're not here to talk about Warhammer, okay? Because that could be like a whole thing in and of itself. I love that so much. It's like I love that so much. But from here, so it seems like you have everything ready and like you're willing to do all this good stuff. So with the whole Twitch streaming, what exactly is stopping you from doing that like right now?
Well, a couple things. First off, right now I'm trying to wrap up Laura Lee's development. That's my main focus right now.
Okay.
I have stuff to draw. I have because my artists are too busy, so I'm the one who has to do it. We're almost done having the assets. After that, it's basically assembly and testing.
Okay.
I've been cutting scope a little bit. It's not going to be as what I expected, but that's part of game development. Is that, and I think that's also kills a lot of game development projects is that they try to shoot too hard for big scope, and they never cut when it's not realistic. Realistically, I could delay the project and keep it going for longer to get everything done, but I want to move on, especially because I want to eventually make a sequel to this game.
Oh, okay.
So, originally, this game was meant to be free and then just be an advertisement for the sequel. But I decided against it because, ironically, it was when Nines played my stream. Nines decided to play my demo, and she, despite not being a person who likes visual novels and likes reading, she really, really enjoyed my game and encouraged me to make it paid.
Sick.
And that's what I'm doing.
All
and
right.
because I opened a Kickstarter, now we're basically at almost three times the funding value. That was my first ever Kickstarter, and we nearly tripled the funding value.
Dude, let's go. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm honestly in disbelief because, honestly, trying to be a streamer a while before I rebranded as a VTuber. Listen, Paper, you're asking the wrong guy. I have no idea what happened. I legit have no flippin' idea. How?
Seems like it was more or less like word of mouth type of deal.
It was.
And like what people saw was like an actual quality content. So it's just like, okay, well then there you go. I guess we'll just actually back this. I can't tell you how many times I've been on Kickstarter and I'd look at something and it's like, well, this doesn't look great at all. It seems like no one put any type of work into it. So I guess yours must be different.
Well, did you check out my link yet and see what you think?
I have not. I was going to wait.
Why don't you take a look now?
I didn't want to. Okay, I was about to say if you wanted me to show the class, definitely, because I was gonna like go through it by damn self and go through everything.
Why don't you show the class? Go for it. Advertise. Give me money. I'm kidding. I'm not obligated.
I was about to say you heard him chat. Give him money.
It's
your
definitely
moral
not going
obligation.
to my plastic crack collection.
You collect figurines?
A lot. I have a problem.
Well, what kind of figurines? Are we talking like mechas or what?
Model kits, Transformers, anime figures, the works.
Oh, so it's just nice. It's just a smorgasbord.
Yeah. I would love to post collecting pics on my Twitter. The problem is that nobody actually looks at them.
I was about to say, I know someone that you should probably get contact with because they do the exact same thing. And they keep saying that, oh, I don't think anyone would want to see it. And I was like, I feel like they would because I feel like a lot of people do this. Like, you are not the only one.
Do. Midnight I've shown Midnight, and yeah, she's absolutely correct. Actually, I think you might have more Bakugo bots. I don't have 500 figures.
They should go to war with each other. See who comes out on top.
I think you might kick my ass.
It'll be fine. This is okay. It'll be fine.
I only have 300? Alright, that might be a bit of a chance. Alright, let's take a look at my game. Let's take a look-see.
Okay. Or you could just... There we go. Oh, wow.
Refresh it. We're at 2,000 now. Or unless maybe somebody... Wait, let me see. Maybe somebody retracted, because that could be something they did. That is possible. I'll open it on my end.
I was about to say, I didn't know you could do that.
But anyways, I wanted to see you. I had somebody help me with this. Yeah.
Oh, it is on HIL. Surprise, surprise. I feel like that's the go-to for all of that type of stuff.
Yeah, I am trying to make a Steam page though. That's something I got to do after this. Let's take a look. Yeah, maybe I guess somebody did retract their thing.
That's annoying.
Oh yeah, that's a shame. Either way, it still made a lot of still made a lot more than the original.
Oh, here it is.
Well, you can't always be right.
No, it's fine. I was going to ask if it was fully voice acted, but I see it's in progress. I'm like, oh,
We
that's
have 3 voice actors at least who have been in anime.
nice.
I did not know how I got that. I got really lucky.
I mean, it sounds like this is just something that was meant to be. You just got to put everything together.
Oi, oi, oi.
Literally, they auditioned for it. Spooktober's actually a really big game jam for indie.
Huh. Yeah, I was about to say, it's like you seem to have a lot more knowledge on a bunch of stuff that it seems like a lot of people really want to get into. At least paper. I'm just interested on the back end of how all this works. Because like, at some point I was going to do something like this, but I have a whole other thing that I have to get through first before I do tackle anything like this. So you excited? How do you have to deal with how do you deal with nerves? Because you said what was it? Where was it? Right at the top.
Oh,
Out of 700, you get 1900. Must be a little crazy, right? They like to see that.
yeah. But anyways, that's basically the real reason why I haven't finished setting up OBS. This chatting screen is basically good to go. But I have like other screens I got to set up. I don't have any animations, but there's not really any time. I have to add music too. Like that's the other reason. And there's been a bigger IRL issue that I've been facing lately. I'll admit it right now, but basically I might have sleep apnea, but we don't really know. I've been seeking doctors about it, but essentially what's been going on lately is that I do not get enough sleep at night. And it's even if I give myself the time to go to sleep, my body will force itself awake and will not let me go back to sleep. And even when I do sleep, I'm not getting enough deep or REM sleep. So I don't even get rested, even if I get a full 8 hours.
Yep. I understand sleep apnea. I have it myself. You're preaching to the choir, my good man. Have you done a sleep study yet?
I've done a regular one, but I am hopefully going to be contacted soon about an in-lab one.
Yeah, hopefully they can get to that, or you can get to that as soon as possible. Because like after that, and if you can work with the doctor and whatnot and figure out your best course of action. And you get all the sleep that you can, like a normal amount of sleep, you'll wonder how anyone's ever tired.
Yeah, exactly.
They
And
just have
that's
so much
really
energy.
the big reason why I've been pushing right now. I started drawing today, and honestly, it's getting past the nerves a little bit. One of the reasons I AI a bit is because it just helps me get past this nerve phase I have, and usually it's easier to deal with these nerves when I am rested, but I haven't been, and that's just the issue.
No, that's completely fair. It's completely fair. So the artist you have for this. Where'd it go?
I've known them for a while. The S at least, but S will be leaving the team after this project because they do not live in a country. Even though they love Yuri, they would like to change their portfolio a little bit. So if I do make a sequel, I will be needing an entirely new art team. I will have to recruit an entirely new team. I do not know how that's going to go. Ultimately, I do also want to make a new game as well. There are 2 games I want to make right now, and then a 3rd project as well that I wanted to develop, specifically to help with the first game, which is the sequel. The second game is probably a dream game. Ironically, it's a Hololive style, a Hololive inspired FNAF game.
Okay.
As an indie game dev, I've literally always dreamed of making my own FNAF fan game.
All right.
It's on my bucket list.
I think that'll be kind of sick.
And let's just say I found out that Hololive supports special indie devs, and that potentially I could even I haven't read this terms yet, but I might be able to potentially get into a program where I can still monetize the entire game and get more backing for it. So this would be like a fun passion project to do while everything else is being developed.
Really? Okay, yeah, so you seem to have. It seems like everything's in place. It just needs to happen.
I'm just having buffering and slow loading because of my sleep issues. That's kind of the big thing that's holding me back right now is the sleep. I'd be moving along a lot faster if it wasn't for that.
No, understandable. So with this game that you're making currently, how long did it take you to come up with the story for it, all the characters?
Honestly, it literally took me about a year.
Now, is that
I
like
went
in
through multiple
normal in the
different
timeline?
You see, so originally the original game was actually a very different direction. We went through I went through multiple different drafts before ultimately settling on the idea of keeping it in a manor. I think I originally wanted to do to like an island sort of thing, where it was like an island security, and then there was like a creepy one where it's like you're just investigating an area, and like you just find a vampire and it's a lot less involved. And then eventually I decided, you know what, I'm going to read Sherlock Holmes and I'm going to see how Sherlock Holmes handles mysteries. And I read the first 3 books of that one. I still haven't read the 4th yet, but I figured I understood enough of enough of the story structure to figure out how I want to get this direction to go.
All right. And then with this, as work gets done, how do you update your backers?
Update them?
Yeah.
I'm supposed to update them?
I don't know. I was under the impression that if you were doing anything like this, you had to update. Is that not what you do?
I have no idea how Kickstarters work. I'm sorry.
I was about to say neither do I. So I was just told like if you're doing something that's like crowdfunded, you have to do updates or something like that.
I mean, I talk about stuff on my Twitter, but like I don't really know. I don't know enough. I don't know how this game works.
Huh.
This is my first time doing everything.
Well, I'm assuming they know that. At least I hope they know that.
Yeah.
And then what is it saying? The estimated delivery January 2027. Is it? I'm assuming, is that like a hard 2027 or is it just
That's a hard 2027, but I want this game completely finished by then. So there's going to be a little bit of post-game development.
Okay.
Where I have to contact and reach out to the $100 backers to get stuff. I have to get the art book and OST assembled, and I have to get the stories that I have to write for each of the $100, implement those into the game, and then basically make a DLC deluxe update where basically which will include the Kickstarter backers properly as in credits, the $100 backers as their stories, as the rewards entail, and then the sticker sheet, OST, and art book rewards will then be purchasable as an additional $5 DLC.
Wow. This is really impressive.
Really?
Yeah, this is $800 backers. Good lord, this is gonna. Wow. And okay, maybe not all of this, but most of this is just you.
I'm going to be honest, it's been a very difficult development because originally this game was supposed to be finished completely by December of last year. We started development. We did some pre-development in last summer, but the real development started in September, October of last year, but we had multiple different issues. I had issues. I was depressed. I was coming out of college and I wasn't getting a job, out of school, and I wasn't getting a job. But also we had other issues. Basically, our sound designer said he could, but then basically spent a month and a half past the first Spooktober Jam deadline, unable to get the voice acting in. And it was only then that he said he had to leave the project. And then the voice actors struggled to get all their lines in. I struggled to get the script in. Art struggled to be done. And coding basically struggled to be put in for months upon months.
Oh my god.
And then not only that, our new sound designer was not, much as I am extremely grateful to our new sound designer, but it was a new learning process for her and she was busy. We were trying to essentially work through everything through the skin of our teeth, slowly and just surely inching towards the goal. And now we entered this final jam, this Josei jam, which allows previously worked on projects to essentially push forward and finish it. And I'm very grateful for everybody who's on it. And it's like, why would I ever feel so arrogant to say this is all me? But I can't deny that I definitely was a driving force behind keeping everything organized as the project manager.
Well, since you've gone through this, since you're going through this currently, I'm assuming you're going to take what you learned from doing this into everything else that you do, and it should be easier. But for anyone listening, since you're doing this, what tips would you give them, or what common pitfalls do you think that they should know about before they start doing this themselves?
you need to make sure that that the people you work with are going to give you confirmation, and you need to know that they are passionate about what they do, and that they are communicating with you actively. You need, if you, what I like to say is that I will give you an extension if you can give me a good reason. I just want to know where you are. I want to know what you're doing, because because when people are working together on a team, your individual tasks are going to be relying on somebody else. And while ultimately there are things you could do on your own, you ultimately need to work or keep in mind that you are part of a machine. If the gears aren't working, how are the pistons supposed to run? You know, if in the heart, if the heart isn't working, if the lungs aren't working, how is the heart supposed to pump oxygen throughout everything?
Very true. Very true. Also, what's up, Spider Bro? How you doing? Huh.
But yeah, that's one advice. But the other thing is that you need to not be angry at your team. You need to learn how to talk to them. You need to get to know them a little bit. Don't need to become friends with them, but you just need to give them praise when they need it. Learn if they can take a joke. That's what I like to do. But sometimes you just gotta put your foot down, and you have to gentle yet firm is how I like to approach it.
Okay. Sounds like firm but fair. I understand. Now,
Like,
oh, no, go on.
like another. Let me think. Is there any other advice I can think of right now? But I think another thing is, I will definitely just keeping in mind. I think the most important thing is is that you need to keep in mind when there's a problem. Your first instinct should never, and I mean never at all, to be blaming other people. You need to look at the situation and see where you went wrong, where you can improve, and take accountability always. That doesn't necessarily mean blaming yourself for every single thing. Sometimes there are going to be things that other people are going to mess up on. That's okay. But you need to keep in mind that maybe you as the project manager didn't explain it enough to the artist than what you wanted, and that's why there's delays. Maybe you as the project manager didn't set correct deadlines, and that's why things aren't coming. Or maybe you didn't follow up with them. Okay, was that the hentai folder? I saw the wife on the screen, man.
Oh, that. Yeah, no. It's funny. I do have a folder specifically for that. I have a whole other thing that I'm doing. I'm not going to explain everything that I'm doing because, like, again, this is for you. But no. Did you?
But yeah, essentially, I think that the most important thing is, ironically, just be accountable. And and people like it when you are trying to seem like you're helping them rather than trying to tell them what to do.
Now, in this experience that you've had, have you ever had to fire somebody, or has everyone just left on their own volition? And how difficult does that get?
I have never had to fire anybody, thankfully. I usually have been selective with the people I put in anyways, but thank God, I've never actually had to let them in. Never had to fire anyone, but if I did, here's my philosophy of firing. Well, I'm not experienced. I'm very brutal. I am running a tight ship, and if you are consistent, well, actually, I had to fire them, but they essentially never did anything to begin with, and then just basically ghosted me of their own accord. But I hired an artist to just simply color one of my CGs in the game, and then 2 months went by after constant checking up on them, and I never got a response. They were never finished. So I said, fuck it, and that's why they're not actually credited in the game.
And does that happen often? Well, actually, I don't know. This is your first game, but I've read stories about that where someone will hire someone to do something, and it's not even just like game development. It can be like for people making VTubing models or whatever, and they'll just keep asking them what's going on, and then like month after month, nothing gets solved, and they just like ghost you. I don't understand what the point of that is.
Well, typically, I guess, is you find people through game jams rather than like finding them via Twitter and stuff like that, like commissions and stuff. they are much more willing to work with you because they're trying to build a portfolio for themselves as well. They have an additional motive to work with you. Also, there are stricter deadlines that they have to work with, so they don't have a choice. If they don't, then it's basically. And now, here's the thing: I am not paying them until they give me their stuff. That's the difference in this project. The money is a bonus. I only gave money to. I had to actually pay out of pocket for Laura though, but only because I trusted the artist to do their stuff, and it's because I knew that they wouldn't be able to stay on if they didn't, because they've gotten busy.
Fair
But
enough.
with the Kickstarter, I can make it back and then some. But like as I was saying, it's about who you trust and who you find. Sorry, 1 second.
You're good.
But yeah, if that someone is like the case, I am not someone who's very tolerant of that. Like I said, I run a tight ship. There's a lot of things that get done, and I do not want something like that to happen again. If you are like that, I will simply find it someone else. You are disposable. As I am grateful to anyone who's worked with me, but if you're in my way, get out.
No, that's valid. I have a feeling that some people aren't gonna like the sound of that, but I mean, at the end of the day, like, I mean, you're making a game, and like, you kind of need to have stuff done, and if people just aren't gonna do it, well, I mean, you gotta go.
Well, there was a problem actually. I was on a game jam. I think it was like last December or something, and this music person was essentially waiting basically waited until the very end to even get started on doing anything. And then when somebody else was starting to do their own work, they started throwing a freaking tantrum, saying that now I don't feel good because someone else is doing my job. Well, if you didn't do your well, then I said to my friend who was working on it, if you did your damn job, you wouldn't be in this situation now, would you? Stupid.
You have so much more patience than I do. I'm not gonna lie. This is why I'm glad I just like edit people's videos. I talk to one person, and that's it. Having to have all these moving parts, it sounds like an absolute nightmare. Just getting these parts sounds like an absolute nightmare. But I mean, you seem headstrong in doing this, and I'm really excited to see what comes of it. Also, excited to see you stream because I wanted to see the back end of game development for the longest time.
Well, I will tell you what I have planned for my first couple streams. I found an old CS50 by Harvard course for game development, and it's basically you're trying to complete some of the games that they have, ending with their original project. Now, technically, you're supposed to originally go through the server, but that basically this is an archived, defunct version. The reason I prefer this one is because it actually involves making 3D games in Unity and Blender integration as well. The new one is basically pure 2D, and I will also definitely be using AI to vibe code because I don't want people to be in the way. So I'll be making a bunch of small games to essentially do some practice and get some more experience with game development. Also, you get to see me rage at being very stupid because I am definitely very slow.
Well, fair enough. Also, I've heard the term vibe coding before, but I kind of haven't understand. But for the class, explain what vibe coding is.
Essentially, you're using your AI to essentially help you code instead of like trying to code everything manually. You're asking the AI to help build out your structures. Now, I have a very specific way of where I vibe code, and then I try to write the code myself, where I have a code base I understand, and then I feed it to AI with the context, and then I generate specific stuff one piece at a time, and then I go back and I test everything to make sure it works. This has happened, and it's honestly allowed me to make as much project on my super secret project that I have not been talking much about yet, but I will eventually be revealing in the future. It is not related to my alt magnum opus, but it is something that is an additional goal that I have not revealed, is that I also want to help people make their own games and stories. I am a storyteller, but I've noticed that many stories do die because it's been very hard to get your pen to paper. So I want to make things that will help people do that, and this is related to that goal.
I'm gonna have to look into that too because I have a bunch of lore that I need to write, and good lord, putting pen to paper is actually kind of ridiculous. But also, yeah, the paper F1, you got to get the paper F1 on this one.
Definitely.
So
I could have gone teaching, but I decided not to because I haven't had an experience, and I feel like I want to give my class something legitimate.
Yeah, no, that's fair. It's very admirable of you.
Runasar is spitting. He's spitting.
Very true. It is very true. Now, obviously, since you're using AI, you're gonna have to like disclose that. And apparently, I mean, you don't care, but I mean, have you run into people that are like, or at least any of the backers or any of the people that you're working with that are like, oh yeah, well, I
Okay,
don't want to be on this
let me
project because
clarify
using
something.
AI.
Orally has zero AI in it. There is zero AI. I have a personal stance when it comes to AI. You see me doing AI all the time, but I have a strict line when it comes to game development and commercial products when it comes to AI. If I do a significant amount of product with AI in it, I would, not AI code, I treat AI code differently, I would not actually monetize it. So none of the games I'm going to be making with these during this project is going to be monetized because they will be using AI assets because I do not give a fuck and I'm not going to be commissioning people for this stuff. But when it comes to AI code, I'm going to be completely honest, coding has been unoriginal since the get-go. Before you would code, you would literally, if you had a problem, you'd go onto Stack Overflow or Reddit and just take someone else's code. Like someone, dude, your code is amazing, how are you doing it? It's not my code, bro. Code, you cannot copyright code. So in my eyes, what's the difference between using AI to code? Now there's a difference, but like in terms of but you see my argument though.
Yeah. Yeah, well, fair enough. Fair enough. I was like, I don't code, so I was like, I wouldn't know. But also, I thought it was interesting because people, depending on who you talk to, either if you use AI at all, you have to disclose it or whatever, or they get really upset at you that if you don't. But I mean, hey, as long as everyone knows where you're at, that F jump, I feel like it should be fine. I mean, obviously, there's going to be these anti-Andes. But I mean, obviously, just don't have to listen to them. They are very annoying.
The anti-AI people will probably not even play your game to begin with. That's the thing. They're just gonna hate your game because it's AI, and they're just gonna hop on a hate train because they need something to hate. There is so much hatred right now, and this is just related. And here's just something I want to admit, and this is something I will tell you guys right now. There is a reason why that I do not participate on Twitter when it comes to drama. I do not participate in politics. I do not weigh in on any of that stuff. Because I have seen too many of my favorite IPs and stories simply polluted because somebody thought they had something to say. I don't care if it's right wing, I don't care if it's left wing, I don't care if it's centrist. If it's not related to what I'm talking about in my game, it's going to poison it and it's going to divide people. Game development and storytelling in general should be something for everybody. And I am not going to make content and build a foundation on something related to divisiveness. So you're not going to see me say woke, Quango, or any of that bullshit.
I don't know. There you go. You're better. It's like you're better than me. I kind of do it for the memes because I have nothing better to do. But I totally understand where you're coming from.
Like, here's the thing: if I was truly this okay person, I've seen some people in the AI community that would probably, if they were in my shoes, would have no doubt saying, "I own the IP to all the art in my game. I could feed it to AI." But I respect the artists who and their hard work and their opinions on AI, and I would rather not trample on that. Because I prefer the bonds of the industry that I've made and the respect and trust of the people that worked on it, rather than just simply satisfying my own philosophy. Oh yeah, some people are asking you the link, so
yeah, I was about to say.
But like that's kind of my thing, and that's why you don't see me weigh in on that stuff. I see like Namika is like exploding because she's weighing in on this stuff and going viral because stuff, and it's honestly making me feel kind of jealous because of how fast she is. But comparison is the thief of joy and the stifling of any sort of development. And I know that if I keep comparing myself, I'm going to destroy myself. Besides, we're very different kinds of people, different kinds of content creators.
Very true. Very true. And it seems like you've had a time. Like you seem like more wise beyond your years, and I was wondering how that happened, especially since you went to college. That's usually
I've made a lot
like
of mistakes, and I've learned a lot from my mistakes. I have been blessed in many ways in my life, but I've also had many challenges in my life that I've had to overcome. I'm not very old. I know a lot of the AI people in the sphere are like in their 30s. I'm not. I'm in my mid to late 20s.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Yeah, you seem to have your head on straight from someone as young as you. So it's like, that's good. I feel like you're going to go very far with that mentality. You just need to find the right people.
Listen, I don't care about drama. All I care about is is how well Bakugo is going to be after Midnight's done with him last night. That's more interesting to me than any sort of who the fuck says AI, because I am so. Can I be honest? I am so tired of the AI debates. I feel like it's just me saying the same things over and over again, and it's like nobody listens. It's like you're talking to a brick wall.
Yeah, pretty much. One of the reasons why I just don't weigh in, or I'll make a meme, or I'll say something like that, say something stupid as like a one-off, and then I just don't bother to look at any of the replies because I just don't care enough. Like, yeah, it was funny, but that's about it. People apparently let their entire lives be consumed by this type of stuff, and I just don't understand it. Like, do you not have anything better to do? Does it not get boring to you after a while?
Well, ironically, it's like I'm also a person who's very logical, and if I am someone who's I don't really understand a lot of the emotion thing going on, and I've also been burnt a lot by the emotion thing. I'm the kind of person who's very straightforward and blunt, so people who are very emotional and very sensitive will not like me. They tend to get pushed off by me, and will push me away from them. But they will never do it. It usually ends up in causing me a lot of trouble. But here's the thing. I do think that AI has a place. I like to think of it as a tool, as something to get rid of bullshit. Like, I will not do the main assets, but if I have a bunch of random 3D assets that I don't really give a shit about, like some kind of bed, or just random stuff in the background, I don't care. Actually kill yourself. I'm kidding. in a Lego game. Do the Lego Yoda scream.
Hey, I was about to say, you're better than me. I just say it. I don't give a fuck. If you want to do it in GTA, fine. If you want to do it in Minecraft, fine. If you want to do it IRL, do a flip. I don't care, dude.
Damn, bro, you didn't have to be so cold.
Look, it's like we think the same about this type of stuff. It's like, brother, we're blunt. We're right to the point. I'm a straight shooter. I'm not trying to sugarcoat it or anything. I'm not trying to beat around the bush or anything like that. This is exactly how it's supposed to be.
I've seen the proportion on Jake's lore wife.
You want to know what's funny? You want to know what's kind of funny? She's actually supposed to be chubbier than that, but every time I put that in the chat GPT, it makes her pregnant, which is cool. That's the idea, but like, that wasn't it yet. That was later in the story.
You don't know how to do chubby girls?
I'm still trying to figure that out because like it wants to make her pregnant, not just chubby. Which
I want to show you what I did.
All right, I'm ready for it.
This is my chubby OC. Just gotta find it. My V2 router is gonna cut out for a second, but just gotta be patient. There we go.
All right.
Ta-da.
All right, did you send that on Discord?
Yeah, check DMs, bro.
Okay, well, give me just a second then.
After these messages.
My oh my.
I got it right.
Yeah.
My AI loves me.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to work on that.
I am a fraud, okay? All my prompts, I just ask the AI to help me build it out and I test it. And if it's good, it's good. I don't write it myself.
I mean, hey, I end up writing about half of it, and then I tell AI to clean it up, and then I test it from there, and then I add and remove things, and then make a final prompt, and I have everything put in one prompt, and then I go from there. And it seems to work pretty well that way.
I used to write my own prompts back when I was using Novel. I used to solely use Novel AI, where I had to write my own prompts. And I kind of learned prompt structure and how to communicate with an AI using that for 2 years. And then I started to really learn ChatGPT and Grok, and now I'm kind of at the point where I'm learning these non-tag based models. Don't quote Todd Howard, okay? That guy should just make Elder Scrolls 6 and retire.
I'm surprised he's just not already retired. Homie, you've made the money. I mean, granted, the last little bit it's kind of rocky, but I mean, better than nothing, I suppose.
Damn it! You also know I'm straight. You've seen the kind of character that you've seen the proportions on Arise.
I need to get to Novel AI simply because I heard it can do NSFW stuff. And Grok, I don't know what happened to Grok. Grok just all of a sudden just shit the bed, doesn't want to do anything. And ChatGPT for some reason wants to be really weird because I was trying to make something earlier today, and when I asked them to make longer fingers, they were like, "That is violence, and we can't do that." And it's like, okay, dude.
It's the filters. I'm gonna be honest. Novel can literally do anything, but you got to be careful, especially with Instant. You can get some really weird and freaky stuff with it.
Yeah,
Like,
I
stuff that
tried
makes
just a
me
bit.
feel-
Yeah, it was weird.
But it is very good when it comes to that stuff. C art is what I use for anything like that, and the bot images.
What is
I
that?
should look at C art.
I've never even heard of that. I've heard of CR until just now. What's that? Look at the man in next to the. Yeah. I was very confused. I was like, I saw the name and I was like, why does that name look familiar? I see who you are.
Oh, Jupul's here!
It's
Hi,
Jupul.
Jupul!
CR. Let me take a look at this at some point. Yeah, because like there's a whole bunch of stuff that I need to do that I want to get done. Oh wow, this looks kind of looks like Novel AI. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah, we'll do that later. Other than that, so
Any other questions you have?
yeah, I was thinking. So from here, you have all this set up. You have all of this running. How exactly do you keep tabs on everything? Is there like a breakdown you do in like the day type of deal, or is it like a weekly update type of thing that you do? Or
I'm supposed to do that.
I mean, I don't know. I don't make games. I can't picture having all of these wheels in motion and then just not looking at them. ChatGPT
so I
hits a
do
little
actually
Jew in Israel.
I do write out my goals for game development, but when it comes to keeping track of literally all the stuff that I'm trying to do at once,
Okay, no, fair enough. You think you'd hire? Well, okay, maybe not now, but like, let's say 2-3 games down the line, you think you'll hire an assistant? Because I feel like at one point you won't be able to like have everything under control. There'll be so many moving parts.
Eventually, I'll have an assistant, but I'm not even making enough money to move out of my parents' house.
Okay, fair enough. It was small step, small step. I was just thinking big picture, but I had to ask about the big picture. And so, say all of everything that you wanted to do kind of goes off without a hitch, and you make all of the money that you need. Oh, Scuba Chew, what's up, pimp? But you make all the money that you want to do. What's the idea with that? You have your own studio and then start making your own thing, or have your own studio that's help other people work on their stuff, or do both and have two different
I'd probably
studios?
have my own studio and make my own stuff because that's ultimately my dream. That's my ultimate dream is to be paid to be creative and make my own stories.
Well, there you go.
So my current goal right now is basically I have a couple different eggs in a few different baskets. It's very flexible. I have a day job to learn skills and eventually branch off into getting a proper career. I'm currently pivoting to hardware repair and like device repair as my industry. So I'm currently at like an apprenticeship in, tech intern job. And then I have this on the side, and then I want to get my streaming up to work with it. Nothing is really working together. I'm kind of having to work multiple things at once, and obviously the tiredness is getting in the way, but I'm going to be honest, aside from the tiredness, life has been pretty good. Things have been thankfully working out.
We love to hear that. So we love to hear that. Spreading positivity of all that good stuff. And I like how everything that you have, like at least you seem to have set goals. Your head seems to be on straight. You're still young, so you still have a very illustrious career ahead of you. And it's like, this is good. This is fantastic stuff. Because I feel like there's a lot of doomcore out in the world, especially on Twitter, of all places, good lord. So to see someone that actually wants to get things done and actually like has a vision and motive and like a clear direction, it's refreshing. It's actually quite refreshing.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I can't even look at a job application right now without even actually just thinking about a job application just makes me so stressed. I'm not very satisfied with my current job, but ultimately I'd rather keep it and just keep dealing with it and work and focus on my game development on the side. As I'd rather, it's just like the amount of self-depreciation and the amount of anxiety that comes from just simply opening up a job application nowadays is just unreal, and it literally will drive me insane and with depression. So I'd rather focus on what I can do than what I can't control. And what I can control is making my own stuff and building my portfolio out so that eventually I will have stuff to show and stuff that's actually really cool and that will actually get me hired if once the game industry cools off, or in the ideal situation, my company takes off and I don't need to hire, and I can hire people instead.
I'm gonna go with I really hope that your company takes off, because I would hate to have it be like, well, yeah, you have a bunch of stuff and like everyone likes it, but your company doesn't take off. So then you have to get hired and then put all the stuff that you were going to do on the back burner now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know where.
like paper everyone, hire that guy.
Mhm.
So with the industry being as hot as it is, and with AI seeming to come in full swing, where do you think the industry is going to go?
I think right now we're in the collapse of the AAA, and we're going to be seeing a bunch of new companies rise up.
And you're one of those companies, right?
Ideally, hopefully. But let me explain. And this is something I did talk a little bit about in the game industry. And I'm going to be honest, this is my own 2 cents of what's going on. We no longer, this is just true for all media too. We can see it in the movie industry right now as well. It used to be that in order to make anything and get any sort of traction, you needed to be a part of a big company. You needed to have like millions of dollars, a gigantic budget, be a part of a big company and get into the big leagues if you ever wanted to be successful. And it basically was a metric of follow the trends, and then eventually it became, but instead of being creative, then it became follow the trends, make something that's going to definitely work and just pour a bunch of money into it and just hope it's going to pay back, which is not going to work because you're just making slop. And not only does that slop, but now that slop takes several years to come out. Now we have things like Roblox, we have itch.io, Steam, we have all these different, and Fortnite editor. We have all these different platforms where we have games that are coming out basically every day, not made by like random, like not made by big companies, but by just random Joe Schmoes. You could literally make any game you want. You can make any movie you want. You do not necessarily need a gigantic budget, but you can have a big budget. My game has a budget of literally the Kickstarter money. That's it. And I started with $0. In fact, I'm currently in negative 130. That is my current budget.
Oh dear.
But I'm gonna get it paid back because of the Kickstarter, assuming people don't pull back, which I pray will not happen. But as I was saying, what's going to happen now is that with AI especially, things are going. You can now make a lot more games. It's much more easier to make a game than ever before. It's much more easy to literally make media than ever before, because not only do you have AI, but you have all these other platforms. You have social media. You can promote yourself. You can make your own company. That's and just promote it. Like it was literally so easy to make a company. All I had to do was just fill out the right forms and pay a fee. And now I'm literally a CEO. It is that easy. Now there's more steps to it, but it's like you could literally do anything. Anything you want. So and now you see but now Jakes, I talked a lot, but do you honestly see where I'm going with this and why I think AAA is dying?
Yeah, interestingly enough, I had this conversation with a couple of buddies of mine, because we're all what most people would consider casual gamers, because usually we're all blue collar, right? So what we'll do after a long day of work, we'll come home and play a game, and we've noticed that from last couple years that all of the games that we play just don't hit anymore. The games that are coming out aren't as interesting as they used to be, and there's just no drive to want to stay up to date with all of the most recent hardware, the most recent games, and all that good stuff, because we all play on PC. But then also, what's that?
Yeah, that's the other irony, is that these games are now coming out even more unoptimized, and like, despite having more money and more advanced technology, they're looking worse. They play worse. They feel worse. They're not as fun or engaging because they feel routine. I want to talk about a game specifically. I've probably bring this up, but like, you remember Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, right?
Yeah.
Well, I want to talk a little bit about that, because we all know that the woke story is terrible, but there's a bigger problem with that game. I like to call that game the perfect recipe. It is the perfect corpo game, because from a business bro perspective, it is literally perfect. It should not fail. It has multiple established IPs. It is the most popular. It has beloved characters that everybody recognizes. It is in a universe everyone recognizes. It is DC. it is the most popular one of the most popular genres of games. Looter shooter. It's a live service game known for making lots of money with Fortnite and other kinds of games like that. And it was cleaned by a consultant company to remove any sort of offensive content. So it should hit and be loved by everyone. On paper, from the way I sound it, it sounds like it should be making billions of dollars. That is not the case. Because ultimately, the biggest problem with Suicide Squad isn't just the story. It's that they wrote themselves into a corner because superheroes do not work as a looter shooter. They don't. The whole point of making a superhero is that you have all these variety of powers. But when you have a looter shooter where everybody can share guns and has like basically identical kits, the only thing that the Suicide Squad Justice League devs could do to differentiate gameplay was traversal. There is literally no point in actually getting any other character in that game because they all play exactly the same.
That is very true. I had a buddy actually pick the game up, and I was like, so 1 out of 10, what are you thinking? And he was like, I wish that this game just was free, and I'd still ask for my money back. I was like, that bad, huh? And he was like, yeah, can't really get down with it because it's essentially do the same thing with the same people in the same places over and over and over again. It's like, oh, okay, cool. Sounds awful. It's cool that you have all these characters that everyone knows, but the core of the game, the replayability, just isn't there. You kind of get through everything that's interesting about the game within like the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, and then it's the same exact game over and over and over and over again. The final boss isn't even unique. It's just a repeat of another boss that you've already fought.
Yeah, it was like the Flash or something, or just I don't
Changes
know.
every patch.
Yeah, I'm surprised the game's still like a thing. I wouldn't be surprised if the service shut down or something.
It went end of service after a year, and they had to retcon the fact they killed the Justice League.
I love that.
Because ultimately they did not. It's basically they've allowed the game industry to ultimately deteriorate to this state. And that's why big AAA is failing, because nobody cares about the budgets anymore. Where's the money being spent on? It's not being shown anymore. We don't know. The characters don't look attractive. The gameplay is not fun. It doesn't even work on my console or PC. There's no more hardware games. So there's no hard collecting aspect. And I'm going to be completely honest. Batman Arkham Knight came out nearly 10 years before the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, and it looks infinitely better because it just had something called art direction.
Yeah, that game slapped. Played through that like twice. They need to make another.
Batman Arkham Trilogy is my favorite game series of all time for multiple different reasons.
I feel that. I feel that. I was personally more of an Assassin's Creed type of guy until after Unity. I think it was after Unity, and then it just kind of was like, oh, this is awful, and I don't think they're gonna go return to form.
Return. I was trying to do my Smugglana impression. Sorry.
It's it was weird because like you cut out, and I was like, it sounds like Smugglana just a bit.
But yeah, I'm gonna be honest. It's like I'll just I have so much to share, as you can tell. I could be here all day, and that's why I want to be a streamer, because I can yap about all this stuff. But yeah, it's like they're not marketing to the game development audience. They're not marketing to. Ooh, you gotta follow. Let's go.
I thought you already followed. That's why I was like, what did?
Maybe you follow Nipples.
Oh yeah, if I was about to say, we might have followed on Kick, because it won't tell you if it was Kick or not. Oh yeah, on Twitch too. ENX. I'm gonna say it's ENX. Thanks for the follow. Yeah, no, but continue.
Let me tell you what the modern audience actually is.
The modern audience is like 2,000 people that don't shut the fuck up.
No, that's not it. The modern audience is a blanket term to essentially, instead of trying to market towards niche audiences who want a specific experience, They're trying to market to as many people as possible. It is a entirely business perspective, because what's going on in the industry is that people who are in charge of making games are not game people. They're business people. They're viewing it from a perspective of a business, and that's not going to be healthy for the game industry. That's why indie is taking off, because indie is made by gamers who understand what gamers want. Business bros don't understand what gamers want because they're not gamers.
Very true. And
They don't care about a beloved IP being woke. They only care if it's going to make back the money and it's going to make the investors happy.
True. And when do you think? Because I thought this would have happened a while ago, but when do you think that they will understand that and then they will change?
They will not change. They will simply move on to another industry because they will just stop putting their money into this because they realize they're not making money this way. But it's ultimately either going to... we currently live in an age where we have stubborn bitches. People are so... This is one of my favorite phrases that I made up. People are so up their ass nowadays that they have shit in their ears and they can't hear a thing.
Very true. I like the sound of that.
They will rather die than be told that they are wrong. You could literally have... I mean, this is a different case, but you look at Greta Thunberg, who literally was being shown the actual errors of their ways, showing all the horrific stuff, like literal evidence to prove that her point was wrong by the Israeli people. And all she did was put her fingers in her ears and scream like a little girl. I also saw a scene. Do you remember those Just Stop Oil people?
This is another thing that spans out about simply because I used to be an OTR truck driver. I have had to deal with these people before.
I saw a clip where basically he was on a talk show. An actual climatologist gave one of these guys a report to prove that everything they were saying was wrong. The guy didn't even look at it. He had the most plastic, doll-like expression on his smile on his face as he tore it up. They don't want to understand. They just want to be affirmed in their delusions.
Very true. Very true. God, I hate them so much.
Yes, and we know that these people are worming their industry because they're giving money. They're giving money to game developers so that they can make stuff. People are going to pay you to be racist or sexist towards straight white men and put LGBT stuff in your game. They will pay you to do it. Or you have Sweet Baby Inc., who has been documented and have literally said that themselves that they will literally try to blackmail and manipulate HR and gaslight them into thinking that if you don't hire them, you're not going to make money. And so you give them millions of dollars for them to actually work on your massive IP game. And if you don't listen to them, they will extort you like they did Black Myth Wukong.
Yep. I thought it was funny with the whole Black Myth Wukong. They were just like, look how bad these people are. And the people were just like, yeah, cool, whatever. We don't care. And then the audience was like, yeah, they're actually super base for this. But when I forgot who it was, but that lady from Sweet Baby Inc. I remember seeing a video. Yeah, Kimberly. I remember seeing a video of her when she said something to the effect of, talk to your HR person or whatever, or talk to your manager, and if that doesn't work, talk to your HR person and literally scare them into working with us or something to that effect. And I'm like, now that that's out there, I'm surprised any game developer would work with anyone like that. Like, I mean, all right, but whatever. It's a very interesting thing that everything's going around and how everything like that's going on. But since you're a small indie developer, and you got to get your name out, word of mouth, and you have to use Twitter and whatnot, how do you think you'll deal with all of that hate from like that small minute of people? Because they might be small, they might not be a lot, but they're very, very vocal.
I'm honestly a little scared, but here's my solution. Block.
Valid. More people need to do that.
What I'm finding is that they do not have an argument. They do not have anything. What they want is you to talk, so they have more ammo to work with. What they're trying to do is they're trying to make you look bad and make you twist your worst anger. It's basically a form of rage baiting to get your career derailed. So ultimately, is what I've seen manga artists do, and I've seen other stuff, is just tell them to shut up and block them. Or just don't say anything, because they don't have any power. If you turned off social media, they would go away because they can't do anything. They would never actually face you in a real fight. They would never come up to you and say this. They're hiding behind a mask. They're hiding behind a shield of the anonymity. If they would actually show up in front of you, they're probably not going to be somebody who's been working out. They're not going to be someone who's a trained martial artist, which I am, by the way. I am a second-degree black belt in martial arts. So I am pretty confident that if some crazy person tries to attack me, I can defend myself. Now, I am afraid of getting swatted because I don't live alone, and I do not want to bring my family into this. That is something that is very scary.
No, that's very true.
But at the same time, that's one of the reasons why I don't. That's another reason why I don't get involved in politics. I don't get involved in this kinds of stuff. I don't try to be racist. I don't try to be sexist. I don't even try to say anything that are transphobic, because if I do, that's going to cause people to, going to give them reason to come after me.
I mean, yeah, but also at the same time, like, remember, you exist on the internet and you're doing something that's going to create something. So people are going to be mad at you regardless. But I see what you're getting at. I do see what you're getting at. And also, you are so much better than me, because if you catch me at the right time, I'm telling you, if you catch me at the right time, those people, oh, dude, I'm sending shots back and forth. I have nothing better than me, bro. I'm on the toilet. It'll be great.
I've seen what happens when you do that. And I don't have the following or backing yet to really fire back like someone like Nuxtaku does.
No, that is fair. So what I'm hearing you say is say on the off chance something that does happen, and people start chatting or whatever, and you wouldn't mind if I did what I did, right? You wouldn't mind if I did, because I'm not attached to the game in any way, shape, or form, and I support what you're doing, and they're going to be stupid, so I'm going to be stupid back to them. That's cool. Right?
You're not part of my company. You're not responsible for anything.
Okay, that's what I thought. I wanted to say that because I've had it happen a couple of the times with some people, and
that's kind of the fun part about being a company. I can just simply say we at Arkd3v Studios LLC are not liable for what other people decide to do with their spare time.
Great. It'll. I'm gonna love this. All I know is that people that are gonna talk shit. It's gonna be hilarious. You're talking so much shit for someone to throw at fucking distance. So they just need to watch out.
Ultimately, what I would try to say to them is that if they are so passionate about trying to tell me how I should make my games and my stories, because I've had people tell me about the stuff that you cannot make a busty character because that's sexist or sexualization. Yeah. Then I feel like I would like to tell you this. Why don't you go ahead and make your own story? And I would love to see it. I would read it. And I would tell you my thoughts on it, just like you did to me. They would not do that.
I was about to say, excuse me, you expect them to create something? Oh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, because all they want to do is destroy. So you can't respond to them with negativity. Fire only makes more fire. All the times that people have told me to stop doing what I'm doing the way done, all it's taught me is to learn how to double down, but double down in a way where it makes it seem like I'm listening, but I'm actually not. I'm just learning how to express what I want to do in different ways.
Okay, fair enough. Now, is there anything else you had about this whole experience that you're going through, and any of the hypotheticals, or is there anything else you wanted to plug?
Well, my Twitch is Arkd3v Studios. Just like if you want to follow me as I get closer to debut, I'll definitely be sharing updates on Twitter. There's the Kickstarter as well. I definitely will be making other streaming platforms as I start to build more. Runasar, can I be your friend too, please? I want more friends. I'm going to make more friends in the industry. That's what I want to do. I want to make friends. I want to make people. I like meeting people like me. I like meeting the fellow autists and game developers and creatives and making stuff. Yeah, you guys can give me a follow. That'd be really super sweet.
Yeah, I put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. You can see it.
Yay, people! You hate people? Me too. I also hate people, but I also love people. I'm very hypocritical. I know that.
I was about to say, yeah. So you're different than me. I love people. I mean, maybe it's just because my upbringing and how I was, but I'm just saying. A lot of people are like, I don't like people. It's like, I love people, brother. They're hilarious. And when you get a chance to like meet as many of them, and then you get to like people watch, whenever you meet a new person, you can see what they're like, and it's just like, oh yeah, you act like these people. So I kind of have a better understanding of how I can work around whatever it is you're doing, because you're actually insane.
Jew pools like that. Second witness. It is nice though, because I just see a lot of anti-Semitism online. So it was one of the things is meeting people like Jew pool and then like Moses and like meeting other Jews online is just refreshing to me as well.
Are you Jewish?
That's like I am, and that's actually another reason why I just kind of coming in with the idea that I'm going to get hate, because I literally exist. The Jewish people literally exist to be hated. We have been we have been the world's scapegoat since the dawn of time. So I am going to get hate no matter what. So I'm saying, fuck your hate. It's gonna come anyways. So I might as well just say block, because you're not gonna stop me. I have a dream, and you're not gonna get in my way.
I was about to say, Renazor, you don't have to worry about giving people that pass. I am 100% of that. So if you really do need it, let me know. Also, it's funny because I was thinking the other day, just as like a joke, I was like, I seem to be meeting a lot of Jewish people. Which isn't a problem. But also, I was like, maybe we can make a deal. Maybe we can make a deal. Hook me up with a Jewish wife. I'll give everyone in that lineage the N-word pass. See what I'm saying? I feel like we could do that.
There is our black Jewish rabbi musician. His name is Nissan Black.
Oh, good lord. That is a sentence and a half. I have to, Jesus, I'm verbally flashbang.
You think I'm lying? Look it up.
I was about to say, I gotta see that. That's kind of crazy. Huh. Well, all right. So I have both of those. I'm gonna put that and the your Twitch in the description for this video when I post it, and we'll go from there. Now, last question, and obviously feel free to say no to this, but I always ask. You looking to play a game?
What kind of game?
I don't know. What do you have?